if you were working with me and you're putting a lot of work in and you are making massive improvements in your life and instilling that dread game, right? Instilling dread in her, uh, she's going to be more motivated when she starts seeing all these positive changes in you. And then she realizes, oh, oh crap, like that he's doing all this stuff and he's not dealing with my bullshit anymore. And she starts getting all neurotic and stuff like that. That might be a situation where you go, do you want my advice or do you want me to listen? And she's like, I want your advice. And you say, I think, you need to work with a professional, right? Like you need to nudge her in that direction kind of thing. Um, the husband must ensure shit tests and comfort tests, or I'm sorry, the husband must endure shit tests and comfort tests, including accusations and indifference and threats of leaving. Right? You have to really get good at handling shit tests with her. And my rule of thumb is treat anything a woman says like a shit test. If you anytime a woman gives you a shit test or even talks to you, just assume it's a shit test and always be indifferent or agree and amplify, and you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be able to handle anything she does because you don't have to sit there and constantly think, is this a shit test or is she serious? Right? Just always assume it's a shit test and you'll end up being fine. Moderate. So if the wife is emotionally needy but not pathological, uh it's the difficulty's less, right? So it's a moderate difficulty then, right? Holding frame and consistent self-improvement can eventually create a healthier balance. She's going to start responding well to your changes. Okay. But if she is pathological, there's no way around it. Yeah, there's no fucking way around it. She needs professional help. And if she won't do it, you need to reevaluate whether she's a good candidate for long-term relationship material, long-term relationship, because it's not healthy for you to stay in that dynamic. And I know like some of you guys are church going guys and, getting divorced is a sin or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's your life. It's your life. And, you need to make decisions that are best for you at the end of the day. And guess what? Even if you're a Christian, all you have to do is ask for forgiveness, and you get into heaven for free. It's one of the best deals, one of the best deals around out of any of the religions. But I do like for anybody that's going through any of these captain dynamics, I highly recommend doing the work before just pulling the trigger and immediately jumping to the divorce option. That like divorce is kind of like the nuclear option, in my opinion, because what you'll find is if you don't do the work, right, you're going to get back out in the dating circuit. You're going to struggle a little bit. Some guys are able to get dates fine, but they'll end up attracting another person just like this, and they end up in the same relationship with a different face. And it's like, if you don't work on your shit, you're the common denominator in no matter what relationship you're in. If you don't work on your shit, you're gonna have the same problem. So work on your shit now when you have a perfect sparring partner right in front of you that knows all your bullshit. Because if you can run game on your wife, you can run game on anybody. You know what I mean? And then if she gets on board, great. If not, well, you're in a better position for when you do move on. But you're at least moving on from a position of understanding, and you're being more offensive than defensive. Most guys just sort of let things happen to them until their wife ends up filing for divorce, and then they complain. 80% of women file for divorces. Yeah, it's like, be a little more proactive in your life, right? Be a little more proactive. Some warning signs. The wife who relies entirely on the husband to manage her emotions may not be compatible with the new dynamic. Right. So once you've been running the map for months, you get my book, you've been implementing stuff, you're listening to it on repeat, you hire me as a coach, whatever, and you go down this road for 6 months to a year, and you start noticing that you're leveling up, people are responding to you in public, you're more of a social person, your wife just isn't changing for the better. Well, you can't control other people. Like at that point, you need to really wonder like if she's the best candidate for you or not, right? she might not be compatible with this new you. And that's a good time to really start looking at talking to an attorney and planning an exit strategy, right? But you want to do that from a position of understanding, right? Understanding, being more offensive. That way you're not blindsided by the stuff. You can actually start putting the stuff in motion yourself. So of like waiting and being put on the defensive, and now everything's an uphill battle, right? So you have to be prepared to end the relationship if changes lead to irreconcilable conflict. That's just where it's healthy for you to always have that mental mindset. You always have to have almost like one leg out the door, because the cardinal rule of relationships is that whoever needs the other person the least has all the power in the relationship. And most of the time it's men who walk around with a scarcity mindset going, I'll never find anyone better. I'll never be able to find anyone again. She's my soulmate. Blah, 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 right. And women, they don't think that way. Women sort of naturally operate from a place of abundance because they always have guys, in their DMs all the time, and they have male orbiters all the time. Men just don't have that. So men operate from a place of scarcity. But once you work on this stuff, you become more of a social person. You realize how many options you really do have. You realize that there's 8 billion or 4 billion women on the planet, that, you are a high value male that could easily get someone better. You don't operate from a place of scarcity anymore. You operate from a place of abundance. You know that if things aren't working out, you can, you have full control to leave at any time. When you do that, the thing is that you won't have to leave most of the time because you're not operating from a place of neediness. You know what I mean? Like when guys have a scarcity mentality, they inherently act more needy in the relationship, which is unattractive behavior. But when your wife realizes that you don't need her, that you're, like that actually boosts her attraction to you because she's like, oh, this guy doesn't need me. He's he's above me in some way. And I need to add value to his life in order for him to keep me around. Like that's where it gets women more invested. It's a weird situation, right? So if you have that mentality of being able to walk away at any given moment, that actually puts you in a better position, and that actually makes you more of an attractive guy. So it actually ends up working, for the dynamic of the relationship. So it's just a good mental model to have in general. You know what I mean? That's why we say in the space, the stay plan is the same as the go plan. Like no matter what, you're going to be working on yourself to make yourself the best possible attractive guy, and she either gets on board or she doesn't. But either way, you win. You will either end up in no matter what, you're going to end up in a loving relationship with lots of sex. Okay. It just might not be with your wife, but if it is, cool. Right. Oh man. Okay. That's all I got for this episode, guys. Hopefully you got a lot of value out of it. Tune into the podcast on Wednesday. We are going to go through chapter 1 in my new book, Get Her to Fuck You Again. So that chapter is all about understanding the betatization process. So if you haven't ordered the book yet, get it on Amazon, read along with us. And then we'll be going through the main concepts every week for the next 10 weeks on Wednesdays. But get the book now. Go to books.comeonmanpod.com. You can find it in my authors page on Amazon. The audiobook is done. I submitted it last Thursday night, so it should be available on January 15th. It takes about 10 business days for Audible to approve it.
New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe now.